I know I'm talking to some very talented people today, some very gifted people today. Today, I'm talking to some very intelligent people. God's given you a lot. I just want to remind you and encourage you, sometimes God allows bad things to happen in our lives to remove our self-sufficiency. The Apostle Paul had to deal with this. He was given, according to him, he was caught up into paradise. He had great revelations. He's the guy, God gave him so much information about the church and the gospel and salvation and Christian living and spiritual warfare that he wrote in his letters. He wrote most of the New Testament. Think about it. It's amazing how God used him. He was an incredible church planner, an incredible disciple maker, greatly gifted. And he says this. He says, I'm going to boast not in my abilities, but I'm going to boast in my weaknesses, my hardships, my persecution, my difficulties. This is what I'm going to boast in, not in my abilities, not in my revelations, not in my gifts, not in my education, but in my weakness. And then he explains it. He says, especially because of these extraordinary revelations, therefore, so that I would not exalt myself, a thorn in the flesh was given to me, a messenger of Satan to torment me, so I would not exalt myself. He says, this weakness was given to me so that I wouldn't become too exalted in my revelations. God gave me as a gift, think about this, a thorn in the flesh, a messenger of Satan. Now, people have talked about this as a physical thing, like his eyes or something like that. They've talked about, had he been married, and then did he have a difficult situation with a wife? What was that all about? And some feel this was a demonic spirit, a literal messenger of Satan, which I tend to believe that's what it was. Doesn't matter. God's vague on purpose about this thorn in the flesh so that it can relate to all of us. We have different things that limit us and hold us back. So he says, God gave me a thorn in the flesh to torment me so I would not exalt myself. He said, concerning this, I pleaded with the Lord 3 times for its removal. Now, you would think Paul got his prayers answered. 3 times he asked God to take it away. 3 times God said no. He said to me, no, my grace is sufficient for you. My power is perfected in weakness. He says, therefore, God said, my grace is sufficient for you. My strength, my power is perfected in weakness. When it's you, all they get is you. But when it's you, surrendered, broken, trusting me, they get me. God's power is infinitely greater than your power. God's strength is infinitely greater than your strength. They get more when it's you and God than they would possibly get if it's just you alone. He says, therefore, I boast of my weakness so that Christ's power may rest upon me. He says, so then I'm pleased in my weaknesses, my insults, my catastrophes, my persecutions and pressures. For when I am weak, then I am strong. God has gifted everyone listening to me right now. God has given you gifts, abilities, talents, things you can use. Don't get boastful about these things God has given you, how He's equipped you, all the gifts He's given you. The thing you should boast in is God and His power in you. You should boast, as Paul did, in your weaknesses, because then He can be strong in you, for you, and through you to others. I'm Dave Early. Thanks for joining us today. Love it if you followed us on Facebook. We do this 5 days a week, daily discipleship, or if you subscribe to our YouTube channel. God bless you.